It's time for us to begin the conversation, and so we are examining operational modalities for the Abule Egba Oshodi BRT corridor. Now, it all came with a tint of joy last Thursday when His Excellency, rather when Mr. Governor, that's Babajide Sanwo-Olu, launched the second BRT lane. Now, it's the second in the series. We talked about so many BRT lanes that have been earmarked for Lagos. This is according to the Strategic Transport Master Plan. And so the second of that was being launched. It felt so good that Lagos was attaining another milestone. But I'm not here to talk about that because I'm a novice in this area. And so my guest will do justice to that. My guest, like we do say, no stranger to the microphone. This morning, she'll be taking us through the operational modalities of the BRT lane. Engineer Abimbola Akinajo is joining us right now. She's Managing Director, Lagos State Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA. Nice to have you back in the studios. Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Victor. Thank you for having me.
All right. It's been a long time coming for the second BRT lane in the state. And after all said and done, that corridor has come alive. So let me start by saying congratulations for a successful execution of the construction work on that corridor. Congratulations, madam.
Thank you very much.
Right. And leaning on that cheerful news for the birth of this BRT corridor. So let's talk to our listeners this morning of what significance is this particular BRT corridor to Lagosians. Let's start from there.
Okay, so thank you. Abule Egba Oshodi, as we call it, is a 13.65 kilometer BRT lane.
Okay.
At the moment, it is a very, very busy road along that Abeokuta Expressway.
Right.
It currently has about 5,500 minibuses plying that route, so it speaks to the volume of passengers that use that route daily.
Right.
From a perspective of the commuters and where they travel, it caters for people who go around Alimosho, Egbeda, Ijaye, Yano Ikpaja, and various parts of Lagos. It also, at the very end of it, when you go from all the way to Songota, it links us to Ogun State, and we can also get to Republic of Benin. So it speaks to the importance of that corridor in terms of the passenger movement and also the economy of Lagos.
Right. And talking about the impact on public transportation, how would you describe it?
From the perspective of impact, it has been very, very positive because of the traffic on that route. This route is segregated for purely the BRT buses. So we can now do a journey between Abule Egba and Oshodi in 35 minutes, which normally would take you anything from 1.5 hours to 2 hours in traffic.
Right. That's massive. I mean, 35 minutes comparison to like 1 or 2 hours. That's a great leap. And so it means that Lagosians within that corridor will be able to get a better deal. Now, for those who are still not very familiar with this new BRT, what are the features of the Abule Egba Oshodi BRT corridor? Okay,
so the Abule Egba Oshodi BRT corridor starts from the Oshodi interchange. You can take the bus from Terminal 2 Oshodi interchange. And from there, you will go all the way to Abule Egba. There are 14 bus stops along that corridor. The major ones, Yano Ikpaja, Dokpemu, Ikeja, what we call Ilepo, Super, and all the way to Abule Egba. And the bus then turns around and comes all the way back.
Right. So
from the perspective of what you can get, you have 14 pedestrian bridges. Every bus terminal has a pedestrian bridge because the alignment of the bus corridor is in the median of the road.
Right.
So you have to use the pedestrian bridges to get either side of the carriageway.
Right.
So from where we're standing, from a safety perspective, there is a pedestrian bridge at every bus stop, and we encourage passengers as well as anybody who wants to use that place to please use the pedestrian bridges.
Right.
From safety perspective.
That's right. So let's talk about the differences now, because this is the second in the series of the BRT lanes. I hear that you guys have so many earmarked for Lagos. But what's the difference between this new BRT and the one that was existing in Ikorodu? That's the Ikorodu corridor. What's the difference? Okay,
so the Ikorodu BRT has the bus lanes either end of the existing corridors, of the existing roadway. So they're what we would call, well, maybe bilateral, but they are on the extremities of the carriageway. Okay. So you come from the service lane and they're there. All the way from TBS to Mile 12, that is the format of the BRT.
Okay.
From Mile 12 to Ikorodu, From mile 12 to Ikorodu, you go all the way to that. At that point, it becomes a median BRT. So it sits in the middle of the road, but the bus stops are also either side of it. So you get out of the buses and you get into the bus stop and you move up into the pedestrian bridge. Now, for this particular one, all of our bus stops are in the median. And this is because of the right-of-way that we had. So we were constricted for space. We used the median all the way from Oshodi to Abule Egba.
So it was deliberate?
It was deliberate because we knew that we had a challenge with carriageway based on right-of-way.
Okay.
To ensure that we did not reduce the carriageway widths for the other vehicles that are using it. So we have 4 lanes either side. So in that sense, our median bus stops are actually a specific design. And in fairness, we are going to alter the buses that we have now. Right now, we're using regular buses, but we have ordered new buses that will come in next year. And those ones will have their doors opening on the driver's side. So right now, every bus, the driver is sitting to your left, and the bus doors opens to your right.
Oh, okay.
The buses we will use on these ones in the future, forever.
The buses are planned for it.
They are actually planned for it.
Okay.
But because of all this COVID and all of that, importation of those buses has sort of been delayed, and it won't come in till next year.
Right.
But to ensure that the people do not suffer, we have temporarily used these buses that we have to ensure that the program that we had, which was the Mr. Governor wanted us to put public transportation on that, he wanted it done actually in July, and we managed it in August.
All right.
So that's why some will look at it and say the passengers come off opposite the bus stop.
Right.
But what we do now is that we make sure that the bus doesn't move. So we have safety personnel out there. The bus doesn't move until all the passengers have gotten into the bus stop, and then we ensure safety that way.
Wonderful. All right. So these buses that we have at the moment, what's the capacity?
The high capacity buses can carry 42 passengers standing, and they can carry 42 passengers sitting and 30 passengers standing.
Okay.
But because we're in COVID, we're still in semi-lockdown, or we're releasing ourselves out of COVID lockdown.
Gradually.
We can only carry sitting passengers, ensuring that you have your mask on, ensuring that you have sanitized before you get onto the buses.
Right. All right. That sounds beautiful. So let's talk about the routes now, which this corridor transverse. You said we have 14 bus stations.
Yes.
So what is the classification now in terms of the routes now that the buses are going to be plying?
When you say classification?
Right. So from Oshodi to where now?
Okay. So we're going from Oshodi, we go to Bolade, and then, so these are the bus stops. So Oshodi, the main terminal, is the originating terminal.
Right.
And we will go all the way to Bolade, Ladipo, Shogunle, PWD, Airport, Ikeja, Mangoro, Cement, Yano Ipaja, Dopemu, and Super Ilepo, and I think it's Abule Egba. So we have like 14 bus stops.
So the ticket now, and how much does it cost to drive through these corridors?
Okay, from the full corridor, it costs 300 naira.
From Oshodi to Abule Egba?
From Oshodi to Abule Egba. But if you stop, I think it is PWD.
Right.
Halfway, that's a 200 naira trip.
Okay, so from PWD to Abule Egba will be another 200 naira, I suspect?
Yes, it will be.
Okay. All right, so I know that one of the things that you've planned for this particular corridor is the e-ticketing to be very, very functional. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let's talk about the e-ticketing system for the Abule Egba Oshodi BRT corridor.
Okay. So for us, this is something we're really very excited about in LAMATA. In fairness, we've had e-ticketing on the Ikorodu BRT lane, but it has not been widely used. And we are really pushing this because we see it as a way forward. We ensure that we will come away from the I have no change. And in fairness, technology allows us to board our buses quicker. And that's one of the reasons we're pushing it. So we maximize our public transport. So what we have now is that we have what we call the Cowrie card that was showcased by Mr. Governor when he commissioned our bus route.
Right.
On that Cowrie card, you can get that from any of the bus stops along the Abule Egba Oshodi corridor.
Okay.
You can also, so for you to top up, we have a number of ticketing agents at every bus stop. So if you get to Oshodi Terminal now, in Terminal 2, there are about 6 or 8 booths where you can get a ticket. And your ticket, you can get the card, you can get it topped up there, and you can use it on the bus. So the buses have validators. You walk in and you tap, and it deducts the correct fare. We encourage every passenger to please tap out. If you don't tap out, you may be charged more than you need to be charged for. So if you're going to PWD and you don't tap out, you'll be charged 300 naira because you'll be charged for the length of the route. So it is good for you to tap out. It's good for LAMATA as well because we collate data. Data is what helps us to plan and to deliver service to the good people of Lagos.
All right, which is very good. So how can I... Okay, you just said now, like, I can get these cards at the terminal and, of course, at the bus station. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So how can I check the balance?
So you can check your balance at the terminal with the agents. You can check the balance on the validators. When you tap, it will tell you exactly how much you have left on your card. It will tell you how much it's taken, and it will tell you how much you have left. The other place you can check your
balance.
Your balance is on the app. We have an app. It's called the Cowrie app. It's actually on Google Play Store now.
Okay.
And so you can get it there.
It's called what? The Cowrie app.
Cowrie app.
Oh, Cowrie.
So the card itself, it's a Cowrie card.
Okay.
So
if I search on Google Play now,
you will get the Cowrie
app.
That's correct.
Okay.
And you can top up on the app as well.
All right.
And you can also pay for a single journey on the app.
Oh, good. Internet banking as well. Can I check it via internet?
That's what we're working towards. We're going to be using our validators that we use on the buses now are enabled for QR coding. So it's the next phase. In the next 3 months or so, we will be able to have all of that on the internet beyond just our app. So we'll be able to, as it were, you'll be able to load up and do one journey or whatever using your card.
All right, and Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, your side mirror this morning. We are doing what we call connecting or trying to examine the operational modalities of the Abule Egba Oshodi BRT corridor. And of course, the managing director of LAMATA here in the building, engineer Abimbola Akinajo. All right, you have a chance to connect with that very, very shortly. But quickly, let's talk about enforcement within that corridor. Now, before the launch of the BRT, there were lots and lots of incursions on the BRT lane. So what is LAMATA doing to ensure strict compliance with the use of the BRT lane?
Okay, so one of the things we need to do in Lagos, all of us need to sort of take responsibility for the infrastructure that we've put out. It is very clear that this infrastructure was put such that we can enhance public transportation. When we have encroachment on that, it reduces the journey times or it increases the journey times for the buses, and it just sort of defeats the purpose. So the first thing I would do is just appeal to Lagosians to ensure that you do not drive your cars, drive your Okadas, ride your Okadas on the BRT lanes. The BRT, the major roads are still there for you to do what you need to do, and that is where you should stop. And being a law-abiding citizen of Lagos is one of the things that will ensure that Lagos functions the way we, all of us, want it to function. But going on from that, in terms of enforcement, we have tied up with the Lagos Task Force, and they are helping us with enforcement. LAMATA are also helping us with enforcement. And we are in LAMATA, we have come up with an enforcement team that we're going to implement in the next month or so.
Okay.
So for now, we're leaning very heavily on LASMA as well as the task force. But we will roll out an enforcement team that will also employ LAMATA as LASMA as well as the task force.
Right.
So that there will be fines, and there will be heavy fines for those who do not obey the traffic rules.
All right, I'm going to bring this to your attention because we've had lots of people calling us to talk about Okada and their flagrant disregard for that particular corridor. I hope you guys are well equipped and ready to tackle them, because even yesterday we still had an infraction where they ran into some of your buses. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We had an infraction yesterday, and task force were very swift in responding to our requests, and a number of them were apprehended.
All right.
And it's also to mention that the NURTW are working with us, and they also have been educating their own members to ensure that they do not go on the corridor. The BRT corridors are for regulated transport within Lagos State.
All right. Let me also bring this to your attention as well. Before the launch of that, we had people who were always jogging on the BRT lane. So I hope you're also putting in place measures that will cater for this set of people, or how they can change that narrative.
I think for us, it's for us to understand one thing as Lagosians. The BRT lane is for buses. Just like we don't go jogging along the road in the traffic lanes. We should not be jogging along the BRT lanes, because there are buses that will be plying that. First of all, be aware of your own safety and be aware of the safety of the other people on the road. The buses, if they have any sort of accidents, there are at least 42 people on that bus, and we should all be mindful of one another.
All right. How many operators do you have running this corridor?
On the corridor, we have 3 operators. That's correct.
Okay, 3 operators.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's see if we can expand the discourse now beyond the studios to also have input from our listeners out there. Yes, it's time for you to have your say as well as relates to the operational modalities of the BRT within the Abule Egba to Oshodi corridor. So it's time for you to join the conversation on 0809 912 0777. Let's hear from you. Hello there, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Victor. Well done, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, sir. This is Grandma Lainka.
Grandma Lainka, nice to hear from you. You're calling from Ogba, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then go ahead.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, sir. On a lighter mood, as we are talking, I say Governor Sanwo-Olu Koko, our Europeans is the cabinet.
Okay, that's on the lighter notes. All right.
Yes. Please, when you are talking about the number of passengers that will be in the buses, you said 42 sitting, 30 standing. I feel that 30, is it not too much? The more then, how are you going to maintain, or how are you going to curb the masses from removing like railings or whatever? I think some people should be in charge.
Okay.
Because some people will not remove it. I'm not So please, we should tell them they should keep our property safe.
Okay.
Well done, ma.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Grandma Lainka from Ogba. That's the first caller expressing concerns about how to ensure sustenance of this particular public infrastructure. All right, let's hear from you. 0809 912 0777. Talk to me. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
All right, what's your name?
Good morning. My name is Nico.
Your name is?
Nico.
Okay, Lekon. Where are you calling from?
My question is this. I think LAMATA is in charge of this road in respect of public transportation. The activities at my 12 is much being that place. Only from Agilogu, only from Ikorodu, all of them converge at us. And what they all need is to really see and that there should be a bypass from Agilogu that we take them out to Ikorodu straight away without coming to that place. There is this road that leads to the NEPA installation. They should try and work on that. It will reduce the activities at my 12. They need to work on it.
That's for road rehabilitation and construction, right?
Yes. So LAMATA should work with the necessary authority to do that. The high capacity bus running under the bridge is creating a lot of lane blocks. So if they can do that road, anybody going to Ikorodu coming to Agilogu does not need to really leave by itself. They have to cut before getting to that place and go out after my 12. It will ease traffic along that route.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, he's more concerned about the roads leading through where your buses transverse on Ikorodu. All right, well, I'm sure that you'll be able to give him the appropriate response when the time comes. But let's hear from you. We're talking about the Abule Egba Oshodi BRT corridor. Those of you that live within that axis as well, I need to hear from you. Good morning. Hello there.
Good morning.
All right, what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Dudu. I'm calling from Ishawu.
Your name is?
My name is Dudu. I'm calling from Ishawu.
Dudu from Ishawu. All right.
Yes. The problem we are having in Ikorodu IC, especially that agri terminals, right? If you get to that place, it's like a market. The bus are falling in Ikorodu and the environment. They are not enough. Please, we want the manager to do something about it.
Yeah, I do understand that. But this morning, actually, we're focusing on the Abule Egba one. That's our new baby for now. So.
But this is the time I have to
I do understand you. Okay, so you guys need more buses.
Let's take note of that.
Okay.
The problem we're having in Ikorodu is more because we don't have enough. Because Ikorodu and Padi.
Okay.
If you agree both of our stands, I think you still like 4 or 5 hours in the queue.
Okay then. All right. Thank you so much. You're expressing yourself, and of course, who else is better suited to do that other than what is really paining you in the heart? But for those of you that are within the Egbeda corridor, okay, those that are within Iyanopaja, you're advised to make use of the BRT. So you can talk to me what the experience has been. So far, so good. Hello there. Good morning. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Victor.
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah, hey, Busayo from Abule Egba.
All right, Busayo, it's nice to hear from you.
Thank you. It's a nice initiative that at least we thank Lagos for the facility that they're giving us. But I want to ask a question: how can we get the carry card? That's one.
Okay.
Then the second one is about the time lot of side mirror. We need to increase the train because before we were enjoying 2 hours, but now it's less than 2 hours, and even less than an hour. So many things incorporated into it.
Okay, so you need more time for your side mirror.
Yes. So we have more time to engage wherever you do. Thank God today there's more time today. Sometimes you just give us 5 minutes to engage wherever you do. So please, we need more time.
Okay then. All right. Thank you so much, Busayo. All right. Where to get the cowrie card? All right. Even though she mentioned that before, of course, she will still reiterate that as well. But let's still hear from you. Those of you within that corridor, talk to me. Hello there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Tayo.
Tayo, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abule Egba Oshodi.
Is this our regular or more Tayo?
No, I normally call, but maybe not.
Okay. All right. So Tayo from Abule Egba, talk to me.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank the Lagos State government for the opening of the BRT. It's a very good idea, especially for we coming from this side. The traffic is terrible, but now we are enjoying the. But I just want to make a point. Concerning the fees on the, the 300 naira from Abule Egba. I think on a normal grant, if there is no COVID-19 and any other thing, some buses, these other commercial buses normally take 200, 250 if there is no COVID. But when COVID starts, I know they increase their money to like 5. Sometimes we enter is 500 and above. But I just want to say that at least Lagos State we have more planes, we have more passengers. They look at the price. Maybe after the COVID, let them see how they can a bit reduce the price, maybe to 250 or 200. At least it's a part of helping the citizen.
Right. Yeah, but have you gone on the buses?
Yes, it's nice.
You've entered them?
Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
I said you've entered the buses?
Yes, I entered it. So it's very nice, fast and smooth. But before we enter, we have to wait like 1 hour or so at the bottom.
Okay then. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Yes.
All right. So some areas of concern. Okay. All right. So I will take one more before I allow the managing director to respond to all of these myriads of concerns that are raised. Talk to me. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Victor.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Tajuddin.
Tajuddin, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Oshodi.
Oshodi.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, please. Yes. First, you must commend the Lagos State government for that, for the Abule Egba Oshodi corridor. Now, I'm worried about the enforcement of infractions.
Okay.
Now, the Ikorodu has shown that human interference in enforcement on BRT cannot work. As we speak now, or Danfo, they compete with BRT on that route. So with this one, I thought that if government put billions of naira to invest in that kind of structure, they should also put some money to use to enforce the law digitally instead of bringing LASMA, task force, and all those things. It cannot work. It's a fact.
Okay, so digital enforcement is what you are recommending.
Yes, that's the best thing.
So can you explain this? Can you break this down for us? What kind of enforcement? How will it work?
Okay, good. I'm very glad that Mr. Akinajo is coming from a more civilized,
advanced climate.
In some places in Europe, what they do is they plant camera in front and at the back of those buses. So whoever the camera picks, they will go to the database of that vehicle and enforce the law instead of bringing police and let's on the road, because they will compromise the system.
Okay, all right.
Yes, that's my suggestion to LAMATA. They must use digital enforcement instead of this human enforcement. It's not going to work.
Okay then, all right. Thank you so much.
Okay, yes.
So let me get back to you then, madam. Lots of comments raised. Where are we going to start from? The top or the rear?
Okay, let's start with Grandma.
Okay, Olayinka.
I just want to say thank you to her for commending the state. With regard to ensuring that our infrastructure is looked after, like I always say, at the end of the day, first of all of us have responsibility for this infrastructure. But beyond that, we have security on the corridor. And that security will look after the infrastructure that we have put there. And anybody found vandalizing the infrastructure will be apprehended and will be dealt with.
Okay. Lekon from Ikorodu.
From Ikorodu, with regard to Mile 12. What I can say is that we're in constant discussion with the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, and we will take that back, and I'm sure that there will be a plan to put this infrastructure in place to ensure, because we ourselves have noted that, and we know that we need to do something to relieve the pressure in that area.
Right. Dudu from Ishawa, he says more buses needed on the Ikorodu corridor.
Mr. Dudu from Ishawa, I have good news for you. Part of what the governor has asked us to do is to put some more buses in the Ikorodu BRT route. So we will infuse at least 70 buses, 70 high-capacity buses, and Primero themselves are going to buy new buses. So in the next month, you will see 70 new buses. So it's not just Abule Egba Oshodi that we're putting these new high-capacity buses. We're also putting them in Ikorodu.
All right, that's good news for Dudu and others within that corridor. So expect new buses plying that corridor as well. All right.
So the next person is Busayo.
Yes, Busayo is talking about how you can get
a carry card.
Right.
I will say it again. Please go to any of our bus terminals, the bus stations in Oshodi. You can get it all along the route. You can also get it. Every bus stop, there is an agent there that will give you a card.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so 300 naira. Well, post-COVID, are you guys thinking of how to review the price?
I'm not going to promise what I can't deliver, but in fairness, when we look at it from a perspective of length of travel, i.e. the kilometers that we're traveling, what it is from where we're standing, for now, this price we feel is highly competitive, because we also have to be able to meet operational cost. But demand sometimes may inform a review, and we will take that on board.
All right. Okay, then. Lagos Traffic Radio, that is 6.1 FM. Let me see some comments on our social media platform. Let's see if we can connect with our courier. Let's see if we can run through them. Facebook and
Twitter.
Twitter as well. So.
All right. On Facebook, from Ikechukwu Kalu, it says, Oshodi, Abule Egba BRT is commendable and appreciated. The BRT running on Ikorodu Road frequently breaks down on the route because the fleet is now old.
Okay.
LAMATA, if LAMATA is the regulator, why not ensure that Primero does something to this fleet?
Okay.
All right. Then on Twitter, from Adetayo Oluwatobi, he says, that is, dear Lagos State Government, I know you listen. All right, please kindly look at the fares of the BRT from Oshodi to Abule Egba.
Okay.
Oshodi to Aja is 49.7 kilometers. Oshodi to Ikorodu is 32.8 kilometers, and Oshodi to Abule Egba is 18.6 kilometers. And he says that Aja is 500 naira, Ikorodu 300. So why would the lesser kilometer, that is, will also be 300? Please look into this. Thank you very much.
All right then. Okay. I think she's addressed that. But let's see if we can get back to the phone lines before we begin to round off things on the program this morning. 0809-912-0777. And that's the lines that you can connect with us on the program. Perhaps any questions that relates to the Abule Egba Oshodi BRT corridor. Let me take this one that is coming in. Let me see if this update will do. Hello there.
Good morning, Mr. Victor.
Yes, Abode, talk to me. What's happening within your corridor?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Just to update you around Allen Avenue.
Yes.
Just to let you know, we have this movement now coming from Ikeja under the bridge.
Okay.
Towards the traffic by intersection. It's very heavy now. There's no cause for alarm. We have found your gun to clean it full. Then after the intersection, moving towards radio, very, very busy towards Alausa. So then return journey is busy back to Allen intersection. Then coming from Aromire also very busy. But there's no cause for alarm. We have family on ground here.
Okay.
Then for those people moving out from Allen Avenue towards the intersection, just a little bit busy. Then return journey is able to go towards Allen. Then Okwebi Limbre towards the Westfield, good movement. Westfield towards Ojota, from Ojota back to Westfield, Ikosi Junction, down to Radio. We see have it good. Likewise from Radio back to Westfield. Then Salvation of Alarm from Abimbola, see good movement this morning.
Okay.
Then return journey also.
All right.
I don't have any impediment for now.
Good.
Just the Allen intersection.
That's why you have it very busy. All right then.
Yes, very busy.
Thank you very much, Aboda.
You are welcome, sir.
Okay then, so that's the way it's looking like. So gradually we're winding to the end of the program this morning. And Madam, so even as we begin to wrap things up, what's your message to people, especially on the use of this new corridor, and how can we best protect this public infrastructure?
So, at the end of the day, we all say that Lagos State puts infrastructure in place, and that is their job. But there is also a responsibility from the people of Lagos. Whatever has been built, we should understand that it is the funds that we have all generated. So we have a responsibility to ensure that we do not vandalize the infrastructure. We ensure that we follow traffic rules. When we don't follow traffic rules, then things don't work. A lot of the reasons we have traffic in Lagos is bad driving. It's because people just don't do what they're supposed to do. So I'm appealing to all of the people along that corridor, please, please, please do not encroach on the corridor. The encouragement is that when the corridor works, people will be encouraged to leave their cars at home and actually use public transportation. And we can only get there when we allow public transportation to do exactly what it's been designed to do.
Right.
Carry transport or carry public very freely on a corridor that's been designed for it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right then. So those of you within that corridor, those of you that are coming in from Ayobo, from Abule Egba, from Ikotun, you can make use of the Abule Egba to Oshodi BRT corridor, and let's see how we save ourselves that stress. I understand it's very, very fast, and she told you travel time improved. All right, 35 minutes journey from Abule Egba down to Oshodi. So that tells you it's pretty fast indeed. Madam, it's nice having you in the building. I hope we can still have you very, very soon to come and talk much more in terms of advocacy with LAMATA and other issues, right?
Thank you very much, Victor.
Okay.
Always a pleasure.
Great.
Thank you for having me.
All right, then. So